Hi, good day everyone. I am Simon Dawson, Senior Lecturer at Cardiff Metropolitan University. Welcome to my short interviews where I am speaking to industry specialists about how they got into their field of work, the essential skills that they use during their studies, and also any sort of advice that they can give to students who are studying at the moment or entering their industry. Today I'm joined by Louise Roberts. Louise is the current chair of the Western branch of the Institute of Food Science and Technology and is the managing director of Alimenti Food Scientists. Louise, welcome and thank you for talking to me today.
Hello.
First, I'd like to ask you if you can explain a little bit about who you are and what you do, please.
Sure. I act as a food safety consultant to small businesses. The smallest business I work with is one person and the largest is probably a couple of hundred.
Okay. So how did you get into this field of work? Because obviously you wouldn't have started as being a consultant.
No, I worked in manufacturing, both on the factory floor and in head offices, and I've worked with food service companies and retailers as well.
Fantastic. So did you do a degree at university?
I did a microbiology degree part-time when I was working for Tesco.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then how did it progress from there to getting your first job in a food company?
Okay, my very first job was washing up in a cafe. I've also picked potatoes and laid the straw for strawberries as well, which is backbreaking work. And from there, I worked in a dairy as a lab technician, doing all the micro and chemical analysis. And then worked for Tesco as a microbiologist, and then went into manufacturing, had some children along the way. Yeah, so it's been a convoluted career path, but I've loved it.
Fantastic. So if you could go back, would you still do it again?
Absolutely, yeah.
Brilliant. I think it's one of the things that I've found after speaking to pretty much everybody when I'm talking about the food industry, because they've all kind of got into it through different ways. But what they've all said is how much they've really enjoyed working in the food industry and doing what they do, because obviously everybody has to eat. And there's such a wide variety of potential opportunities and positions available as well.
Yeah, there is massive amount of opportunity.
Is this what you found as well? You know, because with you starting as a microbiologist, did you want to just stay in the lab, or how did you decide to move around from then?
No, I went in. I loved microbiology at college. I did an HND in applied biology, and loved the microbiology that I did there. And I've got hay fever, and I hate the sight of blood, so I can't work in clinical microbiology. So I ended up in food.
So going through your career and stuff, what made you decide that you were going to then decide to become a consultant?
Okay, well, when I was working for Sodexo in the head office, I was working with the food buyers. I was responsible for the quality and safety of the food we were buying. And part of that role meant that I was working with very small suppliers who needed to get through our accreditation process. And I saw that they were working with consultants, some of whom weren't quite as good as they could have been. So that made me decide that I could offer a service to the clients that I've now got and help them with the food safety hassle.
Brilliant. So, because you're dealing with a number of different clients and stuff, either like now or when you're working for a food business, what kind of interpersonal skills did you find that were essential that helped you on a regular basis?
Listening skills, definitely. Understanding what the person you're speaking to is trying to tell you, and listening to them rather than trying to tell them what they need.
Fantastic. Yeah, because I think again that's another thing that seems to be quite common is a combination of listening and communication as well. Because if you can't communicate to people, then how can you expect them to do what you want them to do in the first place?
Absolutely. With food safety, it's so important that you can communicate what you need them to do. Particularly if I've worked with a couple of startups and they don't necessarily have the skills to do with food safety that I've got, obviously, because their passion is creating the food. Yeah. So helping them with the food safety is absolutely critical in communicating what it is that they need to understand, be it pH control or hygiene, etc. It's just critical.
So when you're talking to different people at different levels, you know, because obviously you'll be talking to like shop floor workers, to supervisors, to managers, do you have to change the way that you're communicating to these people to get them to understand about, the food safety?
Absolutely, yeah. You need to communicate with the person that you're speaking to on a level that they understand. So I work with technical managers. Obviously, they've got a much better understanding of food safety than somebody who's just started out, maybe doing the cleaning, and it's the first time they've worked in the food industry.
I see. So is there any extracurricular activities or organisations that you can think of that would benefit a student if they could get involved in, that would help them with their career path?
I think the IFST would definitely benefit any student. It's such a wide-ranging organisation, and you can learn such a lot from your peers, and also from the people that have been in the industry for a while.
So how long have you been in the IFST for?
Oh, probably about 15 years, I think. Long time. Yeah.
I think that's about the same as me as well, because I joined in a previous company as well, and initially I wasn't sure about what you meant to do within the IFST, but the more that you get involved in it, the more you get a reward at the end of it as well. And there's such a lot of activities that they do for students as well. It is really good.
Yeah, the activities I've seen, like the question kind of Open University event that was held last year, was so brilliant because it really did dig into the students' knowledge.
So okay then, so for any current students or those that are graduating, what kind of advice would you give them that could help with their CV and cover letters?
I think get yourself on LinkedIn and get yourself a 5-star, I think it is, account, because that helps you then to become visible, and learn to network.
Fantastic. Louise, it's been great talking to you today. I think you've given some really good advice, especially about things like LinkedIn, because I don't think a lot of people still use LinkedIn, but really it's so vital, especially when you start moving into businesses and stuff. So thanks for talking to me today, and I'm sure I'll see you at the next IFST meeting.
I'm very welcome. Thank you.